couple of days ago, my friend and I went to an abandoned house a few blocks down from our neighborhood. We didn't go to see if it was haunted or anything like that. We just went to break in and look around, just being curious teenagers. We got to the house and all the doors were locked. Windows were sealed shut. There was no clear way of getting in. So we walked around to the backyard and found a weak spot in the wall that we were able to kick through with a little effort. We crawled through the tiny space we made and got in. The place was cold and dusty. It smelled like an old hardware store. It was slightly humid, which made us feel gross and unpleasant. So we wandered through the house, checking out the kitchen, the living room, the garage. In the garage, we found some old tools. I picked up a large, thick stick I found propped up against a cabinet. My friend found a pickaxe in the cabinet and thought it was cool. He even mentioned something about taking it home. We moved through the house and up the stairs. The doors were all removed from the hinges, leaving the rooms wide open. There was a weird smell upstairs, but a different kind of smell. Not like wood and paint. It was more like body odor. We didn't say anything to each other, but the looks we gave each other were enough to confirm that we both knew something was off. In my mind, I thought it was just a hobo that found a way in. I played out the scenario of how he got into the house and locked all the doors and windows so no one could come in. The story I made up distracted me from my friend. I got bored and started rambling on and on about hidden treasures, eventually swinging the axe into the floor. I knew he was just messing around because he was bored and wanted to use the pickaxe, but I was never too fond of breaking things. The sound and mess annoys me more than the action itself entertains, so I just kind of stood there and watched, laughing occasionally and shaking my head. After a few swings into the floorboards revealed nothing, he took aim at the wall behind him. He stared at it for a moment, got in a position as if he were batting up, and swung full force at the wall. Then there were two sounds that terrified us. Two sounds that are stuck in my head and I'm sure will never leave me for as long as I live. First was the squishing sound, the sickening sound of meat being pummeled and ground. The second of bone cracking and crunching. Then was the scream. The most agonizing, gut-wrenching scream I've ever heard. A true cry of pain that no actor or impressionist could ever imitate. He let go of the axe and it stuck into the wall. We stood there in shock for a moment until we saw the blood seep through the wall. The last thing I heard him say since then was, "What the fuck?" We didn't have any choice but to take the axe out and tear down the wall. This took us about 15 minutes, and by then we'd removed an old homeless man from the interior of the wall. He was hit square in the chest, and it was clear that he was not going to make it. There isn't a single scenario in which my friend and I come out okay. No matter what, we broke the law by breaking in and causing damage, and we sealed our fates by furthering the destruction we caused, regardless of whether or not it was an accident. So we called 911 and ran off before they had time to see us. We ended up checking into a motel to lay low. I'm thinking about turning us in tomorrow. I told my friend about it, but he didn't say anything. He just took the car keys and left, and I haven't seen or heard from him since the night of the incident.
You know that ringing sound that you perceive when you're in a very quiet area?